My brothers and sisters, understand this deeply. Your dua is not a small act. It's not just a few words whispered in the middle of the night or after a prayer. Your dua is the most powerful weapon you have. It can move mountains that your effort alone cannot move. When you raise your hands, you are not speaking to a distant being. You are speaking directly to the one who says *be, and it is. Think about that for a moment. Every time you call upon Allah sincerely, you are invoking the Creator of the heavens and the earth. The same Lord who parted the sea for Musa, who brought Yunus out of the darkness of the whale, who gave Zachariah a child when his hair had turned white, that Lord listens to you too. The same power that changed their impossible situations can change yours. Sometimes we underestimate what dua truly means. We think it's a backup plan when all else fails, but in reality, it's the first step toward any true change. Dua is not a sign of weakness, it's the essence of faith. It's saying, Ya Allah, I know I can't, but I know you can. That sentence alone is enough to transform despair into hope. And when that hope settles in the heart, it gives birth to strength, patience, and conviction, because the believer who truly believes that Allah hears him never feels alone. The beauty of dua is that it doesn't require status, wealth, or connections. You don't need to be a scholar or a saint. You just need a sincere heart. Allah says He is near, closer than your jugular vein. That means before your lips even move, He already knows what your heart is about to say. So, why doubt the one who knows your pain better than you do? Sometimes you might think your dua isn't working because the situation hasn't changed. But perhaps in reality, your dua is changing you. It's softening your heart, increasing your faith, purifying your soul, and preparing you for what's coming. Allah may delay the answer not to deprive you, but to elevate you. When you make dua, don't limit what you ask for. Ask big because your Lord is generous. Don't say, maybe it's too late, or it's too difficult. Remember, nothing is too late or too difficult for Allah. The only limitation exists in your belief. The more certain you are, the greater your dua becomes. Even when things seem hopeless, even when everyone else gives up, your dua should remain. Because the one who keeps knocking on the door of Allah will never find it closed. There will be times when you feel like giving up. You'll say, I've made dua so many times, but nothing is changing. That's when your faith is being tested. That's when your sincerity is being measured. Keep making dua, keep trusting, because perhaps the very next time you raise your hands will be the moment your life turns around. Every unanswered dua is still heard. Every tear that falls in sujud is still counted. Every whispered plea is still written with love by the angels. And even if you don't get exactly what you asked for, know that Allah never ignores a sincere heart. Sometimes He gives you better. Sometimes He saves you from harm you didn't see. And sometimes He stores your reward for a day when you'll need it most, the day of judgment. That's the mercy of your Lord. He answers in ways that are wiser than our understanding. So don't ever think your dua is too small, too late, or too lost. Every time you turn to Allah, you're rewriting your destiny. The impossible begins to shift, the unseen begins to move, and the heart begins to heal. Never underestimate the power of your dua, because with it, you're not just asking for change, you're creating it. My brothers and sisters, when we speak about dua, we often forget one of the most essential ingredients that gives it true power: discipline. We live in a time where everything is expected instantly. We press a button and the result appears. But dua doesn't work like that. Allah does not operate on our schedule. The acceptance of dua is not measured by how quickly it is answered, but by how sincerely it is made and how patiently we wait for it. Many of us raise our hands once or twice, and when we don't see a result, we stop. But that's not faith, that's impatience. Real faith means continuing to make dua even when nothing seems to change. That is where discipline comes in. Discipline in dua is about consistency. It's about waking up again and again, making wudu again and again, raising your hands again and again, not because you doubt Allah's timing, but because you trust it completely. Think of the prophets. Did they make dua once and then move on? No, they cried to Allah for years. Prophet Yaqub made dua for decades for the return of his son. Prophet Zechariah continued to pray for a child long after his body had aged and his hair had turned white. They were not answered immediately, but they never stopped calling upon their Lord. Their discipline was their proof of faith. You see, Allah doesn't just want your dua, He wants your persistence, because every time you make dua, it purifies your heart. It keeps your connection to Him alive. Even if the situation around you hasn't changed, your heart begins to transform. That is the real power of being disciplined in dua. It shapes you before it changes your world. Sometimes Allah delays the response not because He hasn't heard you, but because He loves to hear your voice. He loves the moment when His servant comes to Him again and again, not out of frustration, but out of love and trust. Discipline in dua also means continuing to make effort alongside your prayer. It's not just about asking Allah for success. It's about showing Him that you're striving for it too. You pray for strength, then you work to become stronger. You ask for forgiveness, then you try to stay away from sin. You make dua for peace, then you discipline your heart to forgive others. This combination of dua and action is what brings true change. A dua without discipline is like planting a seed but never watering it. You can't expect it to grow. But when you water it with patience, consistency, and effort, you'll eventually see the flower bloom. Too often we confuse a delay in response with a denial. We assume Allah has not answered us when in reality He's preparing us. Maybe what you're asking for isn't ready yet, or maybe you're not ready for it yet. And through the process of being disciplined in dua, Allah refines you, teaches you, strengthens you. He makes you the kind of person who can handle the blessing once it arrives. That's why discipline is so important. It's not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you're meant to be. Every time you raise your hands with sincerity, remember that you're building a relationship. You're building trust. You're showing Allah that your faith is not conditional, that you'll worship Him. You'll call upon Him, even if you don't get what you asked for immediately. Because the goal of dua isn't only to change your situation, it's to connect you to the one who can. So, my dear brothers and sisters, don't give up after a few attempts. Keep calling upon Allah in the quiet of the night, in your moments of fear, in your moments of hope. Let your discipline in dua be the reflection of your trust in Him, because the one who keeps knocking on Allah's door with patience and persistence will always find it open. My brothers and sisters, when you say, "I'm tired," what are you really feeling? Most of the time, it's not true exhaustion, it's disconnection. You're not tired of life, you're tired of living without purpose. You're not tired of praying, you're tired of forgetting why you pray. You're not tired of striving, you're tired of chasing things that don't feed your soul. You see, the body gets tired when the heart loses direction. When the purpose behind your effort fades, even the smallest task feels heavy. But when your purpose is clear, when you remember that every breath, every struggle, every sujood is for Allah, that tiredness turns into energy, that burden turns into motivation. The truth is, our generation confuses tiredness with distraction. We live surrounded by noise, constant comparisons, endless scrolling, voices telling us what we should be, how we should look, what we should achieve. All of this drains the heart, not the body. The mind feels tired because it's overloaded with everything except remembrance of Allah. The soul feels weak because it's feeding on everything except what it was created for. And then we say, "I feel so tired." But the reality is, you're not tired, you're spiritually empty. You're seeking strength from the world instead of seeking it from the one who created you. When a believer reconnects with purpose, discipline comes naturally. You don't need to force it. You don't need to push yourself with guilt or fear. Purpose makes you wake up before Fajr because you want to, not because you have to. Purpose makes you hold on to dua when times are tough because you know Allah is listening. When your why is clear, your how becomes easy. But when you forget your why, Even the simplest act of worship feels like a mountain. That's why you have to keep reminding yourself every day, every moment, who you are and why you're here. You are not here to impress people. You are here to please Allah. You are not here to accumulate things. You are here to build your eternity. When the heart reconnects with that truth, the exhaustion begins to fade. Even your struggles start to feel lighter because you know they're part of your journey to Allah. The Prophet RFDFA said, "The most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small." Why? Because consistency requires purpose. Anyone can make a big effort for a day, but only a person who knows their purpose can stay disciplined for life. When you know why you're doing something, even the hardest path feels worth walking. Sometimes people say, "I'm tired of making dua, I'm tired of waiting, I'm tired of trying." But ask yourself, are you really tired, or have you lost sight of who you're doing it for? The moment you bring Allah back into the center of your effort, energy returns. Because Allah gives peace to the heart that remembers Him. When you're spiritually aligned, the challenges don't disappear, but your strength multiplies. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "What is Allah teaching me through this?" That change of perspective turns fatigue into faith. My dear brothers and sisters, you're not tired. You've just forgotten to recharge the right way. The world drains you, but Allah restores you. The people exhaust you, but prayer revives you. The journey feels long, but dua shortens the distance between you and peace. So, don't say you're tired. Say you need to realign. Go back to your purpose. Remind yourself why you started, and let that remembrance awaken your spirit again. Because once your heart is connected to Allah, even your exhaustion becomes worship. My brothers and sisters, there comes a moment in every believer's life when the weight of this world feels unbearable. You try, you struggle, you push yourself, and still things don't seem to move. You start feeling weak, drained, and lost. You whisper to yourself, "I can't do this anymore." But that's exactly the moment when you're meant to turn your weakness into strength, and that happens only when you surrender it to Allah. You see, true power doesn't come from pretending to be strong. It comes from admitting your weakness before the one who is all-powerful. The world teaches you to hide your pain, but Allah tells you to bring it to Him. The world tells you to push harder, but Allah says, "Call upon me, and I will respond to you." When you feel exhausted, it's not a sign of failure, it's an invitation. It's Allah calling you to return, to rely, to reconnect. That's the beauty of tawakkul, trusting Allah completely, even when everything inside you feels uncertain. Tawakkul doesn't mean you stop trying. It doesn't mean you sit back and wait for miracles to happen. It means you do your best, with all the strength you have, and then leave the outcome to Him. You keep planting the seeds, even when you don't see the rain. You keep making dua, even when the sky feels silent, because you know the one who controls the rain also controls your results. Sometimes we confuse strength with independence. We think strength means handling everything on our own. But real strength is the opposite. Real strength is knowing when to let go, when to say, "Ya Allah, I can't carry this alone anymore." And when you do that, something incredible happens. Peace enters your heart, because you've finally stopped fighting a battle that was never yours to win alone. Allah never asked you to carry the world on your shoulders. He only asked you to trust Him with it. The most powerful moments of dua often come from the weakest moments of your life. When you've tried everything and nothing works, when everyone else has given up on you, when you have nowhere left to turn, that's when the door of tawakkul opens. Because now it's just you and Allah, no distractions, no illusions, just raw, honest surrender, and in that surrender lies strength. You realize that the same weakness that brought you to your knees is the very thing that connects you to your Lord. That's not defeat, that's divine redirection. When you start living with tawakkul, life feels lighter. You still face trials, but you no longer panic. You still have challenges, but you no longer lose hope. Because you've shifted your focus from the problem to the provider, you stop saying, "What if it doesn't work out?" and start saying, "Even if it doesn't, Allah has something better for me." That mindset transforms your entire existence. You begin to see Allah's wisdom in delays, His mercy in disappointments, His plan in your pain. And slowly, what once felt like weakness turns into your greatest source of strength. So, the next time you feel like giving up, remind yourself, maybe Allah is not asking you to give up, maybe He's asking you to give in. To stop relying on your own limited strength and start relying on His infinite power. Every time your heart whispers, I can't, respond with, Ya Allah, help me. Every time you fall, rise again with His name on your lips, because no one who truly trusts Allah ever loses. The one who puts their tawakkul in Him may fall 100 times, but each time they rise higher, closer, and stronger. And when that realization settles in your heart, you'll understand that you were never really tired, you were just being taught how to lean on Allah completely.